Hi, I'm Chris Wall. Most of us will have met during training sessions, Christmas party or other events. I'm speaking on behalf of Bev and Stuart, my co-directors. I want to speak personally to you all, but right now that is impossible due to the circumstances of this virus. Working for Bevris at the moment is one of the hardest jobs around, and as everyone is more or less working in isolation, I've decided to follow up our Covid-19 Bulletin number 3 with this brief vlog. I decided that I didn't need to be in a suit. I'll save that for court work these days. I decided I didn't need logos and movie level production techniques. This is me, speaking as me, Chris Wall, part of our Directorate and fantastic management team. You can see my guitars in the background, but our band won't be able to perform again until the amazing party that we'll throw for everybody when this thing is over. Excuse me reading from my notes. My main message is one of thanks to all of our staff for your dedication and hard work. I also want to thank our clients and customers for their understanding. Everyone is feeling scared, and if you are like us as directors, feeling quite emotional at times. It just bursts out of you when you don't expect it. Suddenly, you can find yourself completely still and head in hands, maybe even in tears. It's normal though, in these kind of circumstances. All of our staff and management are tired and our brains are blasted, so much to take in and deal with. 44 years in this work and I've never known anything like it. Everything is tense as we struggle to cope with losing over 10% of our workforce so far in 6 days to self-isolation. Hopefully they will be back soon. First one is due back in around 8 days, all things being well. After that, hopefully there will be a trickle back to work to take over from the staff, who will then have to self-isolate themselves. Please bear in mind that as staff you will be tired, distracted and concerned by everything that is going on around you, in your family, the UK and in the world. Under this pressure there are possibilities that you will make mistakes. Some mistakes could be extremely harmful to our clients. So please ensure that when undertaking tasks such as giving medication, if you're in a 2-to-1 support package, ensure that your colleague double checks what you are doing. Self-isolation is a must, and I ask you all to take that isolation seriously. Most of the time the isolation will be due to symptoms in your household that resemble the virus, but not necessarily the virus itself. Follow the guidance regardless and do not self-diagnose. Do not return early just because you think your household is okay. Firstly, use it to rest and recharge your batteries. You need to. I ask all staff and families to please not go out when you are self-isolating. It is not an overreaction. If you are struggling for essential supplies, let us know and we will try to help. Above all, do not go out. And do not have visitors to your home. Isolation is what it says and what it needs to be. I implore all staff, clients and families to follow the government's guidance on social distancing. Step away from the crowded places, the bars, restaurants, etc. Social distance is vital to end this thing. Nearly touched my face. We have taken the measures that we can and separated our management team, who are now working from home and not meeting. This is to do our best to ensure that the service can be managed. In the absence of members of this team, we would struggle to coordinate everything. So please don't think that they are more valuable than yourselves as we keep them back from the front line. Our phones have not stopped since this really took hold. I've had to switch mine off just to get this vlog done. Yes, our phones haven't stopped since this took hold, and protection for the management team is essential as we couldn't cope without them. As long as we are not ill ourselves, our management team will continue to work, even if in self-isolation. This is how we have designed our response. I want to make self-isolation clear. The last thing I want to do is to threaten anybody, but please understand that breaching self-isolation will be seen as a disciplinary matter, as it threatens the lives of all of us, including our clients. There is also a possibility that it could be seen as willful neglect, which is a criminal offence under Section 44 of the Mental Capacity Act, with a jail sentence as a possibility. So please take self-isolation very, very seriously. For most of us, the virus is far less harmful than the measures we have to take to contain it. Due to this, there are some people in our communities, who are not taking the virus seriously. They may be young, fit and healthy, but they forget their grandparents and the weaker, more vulnerable members of society, the ones we support. I want to talk about returning from self-isolation. You must self-isolate if either you or your member or any member of your household has symptoms. A new persistent dry cough and or a high temperature. That's 37.8 degrees or higher. If it is you, then you must self-isolate for 7 days or until you are well again. Apparently the cough may go on, but you would not be contagious if that was all after 7 days from when you first became symptomatic. If it is one of your family, then you must self-isolate for 14 days from the time they were first symptomatic, even if you show no symptoms. This is the hard one, and it takes some understanding. I had to read the guidance a couple of times myself in order to get to grips with that. We've all read it and we've all got the same understanding now. So, even if you show no symptoms, 14 days from the first point at which your family member was symptomatic, you must self-isolate. It does make sense, but please take it from me, without further explanation, that it's due to the length of the incubation period. What are we doing about replenishing and replacing and supporting? We've had clear guidance from CQC, okay, that we might not always be able to operate and deliver a service the way we would like to. But what they've said is we need to deliver that service the way we need to. Now, we're in the process of rapidly recruiting and training and bringing additional staff supporting. Now, where we are really strained quite often is on 2-to-1 support packages. But on 2-to-1 support packages, if we can give people the right training quick enough, then they can also help the first member of staff, who would be the expert in a 2-to-1 care package, and support them to be able to work with those particular service users. We're hoping this can work. There are quite a few people who have responded to our social media over the last 24 hours who are experienced and well able to work in this field. So we're looking forward to meeting quite a few people over the next few days. However, in terms of working the way we need to, rather than the way we would like to, we will be interviewing by FaceTime and Skype. We're having to use technology a lot. So before this vlog becomes a feature-length movie, I believe that McDonald's may be offering free drinks to carers and NHS staff. If you take this up, then please remember the need for social distancing. It's okay at the drive-through, but please don't sit in McDonald's restaurant in order to get a free drink. That may not be all you get for free. We'll buy you all a drink when this is through, and probably a lot more. Once again, I really wish to thank all of our staff who are working under a great deal of pressure. An amazing amount of pressure. I'm turning into Donald Trump if I start saying things twice. Pressure comes though, both at work and in your private lives. We understand that, we get that. There's economic stresses, people in the family maybe worked in industries or within the service sector, hospitality, where there are many people now out of work for the foreseeable future. It will all come back, and the government has promised support. So, we understand. We really do. And we can only say thank you for your dedication and support you the best way that we can within the constraints that we're under. That's massive staffing constraints. That's massive business constraints and economic constraints. We have to do the best we can with everybody. Whilst it's me that's been doing the talking as the most photogenic director, I speak on behalf of Bev and Stuart, who I must also thank for their unflinching dedication to supporting the company, its staff, clients, families, and all stakeholders. So, if doing this by vlog is better than having to read it all the time, great. But we will be sending out the bulletin in written form and providing, obviously, a link to this vlog. Bye for now, and I'll see you all again when I do the next bulletin, which hope might be a little bit longer time away this time. Thank you.